Hey guys, it's Jeremy, and today I'm going to try a little bit different of a recipe. It's going to be sweet and spicy pickled radishes. Really great topping for some salads or additions to things. I'd actually bought it again. I shop at Fred Meyer or Kroger store. They had these 1 pound packages of radishes, and I'll put the recipe down a little bit later. So I took the radishes and I sliced them up, and we'll go over that just a little bit. But I'm not perfect, but they're fairly uniform. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. If you like them thicker, do them thicker. Some of the ends aren't perfect. That was a little thick, but which is going to be okay. That's the main ingredient, obviously. I'm going to put them in a canning jar too, but I'm going to use some of my pickled jalapenos from last year. This recipe generally would have some cilantro in it, but I'm flexible. I didn't have cilantro, but I do have some basil, and I think a little bit of basil in there would taste okay. Part of the seasoning, if you've ever done any canning or pickling, you'll be dealing with white vinegar, just real simple. That's just a cup of vinegar. I use some sea salt. This is Costco. I get it's like the pink type salt. Some red pepper flakes. I think I picked these up at Fred Meyer. They happen to be organic. I try to buy organic when possible and when I can afford it. Sometimes the prices can get a little crazy. I had some Kroger brand mustard seeds. I didn't really spring too deep on that. A couple of tablespoons of sugar. I think that some of the sugar substitutes would work fairly well, like the monk fruit or things like that. There's my salt. And so the basis of that, and I'm going to put it in a white. So for cutting these, I trim the end, chuck that in the sink. The other end, where the stem was, just a little trim there, and cut it the way that you like. I've been rocking the knife on the cutting board like that. It's a fairly sharp knife, so but that's essentially how it looks. Just as simple as that. On the side, I do have a pot here that I'm going to get over the fire, get it going. There's my cup of vinegar, my 2 tablespoons of my sea salt, my 2 tablespoons of white sugar or sugar substitute, and I'm going to put the mustard seeds in now, and you could put those in the canning jar at the end. I'm also going to put my teaspoon of red pepper flakes in now. Again, if you like it hotter, make it hotter. If you don't like the spicy, leave it out. You'll find with all my cooking, if there's part of it that you like, add more. Don't be afraid to try things. So that's the way it is. And I'm going to bring this up to a boil because it does need to get to the simmer. This is just a really simple, plain old ball canning jar. They're pretty inexpensive if you use them, but these are just going to be refrigerator pickles. I'm not going to actually can them, so you could do it in any tight sealing container, even like I did my jalapenos last year. So this is how I like to pack them. I like to put a jalapeno or 2. These have all the seeds and everything in them, which, the seeds are in those ribs, those white ribs there, or where a lot of the heat is, where if you like your jalapenos a little bit milder, take those out. I'm going to take a nice big handful, and of course my hands are clean. And I'm going to fill it about half full. And at this point, I'm going to take some of my basil that I got at the grocery store. Of course, I've got this big, huge box of it that I don't usually cook things that'll require that much. So I'm going to put a big old leaf of basil in there. I'm going to put another 2 of these jalapeno pieces in there. They're the jalapenos that I actually grew in my yard last year. I'm going to take another big handful of this. And it's okay to pack this down because once the brine liquid, it's got all that salt and vinegar and whatnot, it'll soften these up a little anyway. And like that, that's as simple as it is. Sometimes I'll put another little jalapeno on top as a reminder. Again, when these are done, I put the juice over it. I'll go over that, and I leave in the fridge for about a week or so, and they get just so tasty, and you can fish them out and just eat them as is, or put them on a salad, put them on tacos, anywhere where you want that little extra bit, and you won't be disappointed. So while I'm waiting for my brine to get going for my pickled radishes, I want to just mention, as an OCC patient, I really have rethought the way that I eat and flavor. Generally I follow Lucia with her protein, fiber, fat. As you see, there's not much fat with these, obviously. So it would be eaten with something that would meet those goals. But for me, the other thing that I have to do is follow that flavor. I need flavor. I don't eat very much food anymore. Thanks Dr. Ortiz, I really appreciate that portion. The surgery really did help. But the surgery only helps get you toward your goal. Part of the goal has got to be changing up everything that you were eating, or maybe the way that you were eating. I eat rather healthy, however, I just ate too much. But with the guidance of Lucia and Dr. Ortiz and all the folks at OCC, my high weight was 317 pounds, and right now I'm at, I hover between 170 and 175. That's a 5 pound, that might sound like a lot to people, but over a month or so, I'm pretty stable right in there. So that's a heck of a weight loss, and I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled with everything I've gotten, and I've got to remind people that no food tastes as good as thin feels. So, with that, I'm going to get back to the recipe because I think that it's getting ready. So hold on. Okay, now my brine liquid has come up to the boil. Boy, I just inhaled boiling vinegar. You could try to be neat and pour it. If I'm pretty good, I won't get in too much trouble. Boy, that looks pretty good. Oh, I got too many mustard seeds on that one. And it's as easy as that. I'm going to divvy up some of those mustard seeds off the top, though, I think. And oops, I'm going to top that a little bit more. Then once this cools off, I'll put them in the fridge. And again, I'll wait to eat them several days. I kind of like these refrigerator type lids. They go on. It's a little hot now to seal them up too much yet. I like to put the lid on and just lightly do it, but I let them cool before I put them in the fridge because it's rather hot. But they are going to be super duper tasty. Oh, I just made a mess. So other than that, look forward to seeing you on some of my next recipes. Have a great night.